In the space between your last waking thought and first dream, something profound stirs. Your consciousness hovers at the threshold where intention meets infinite possibility. Tonight, you discover that a single shift in awareness can ripple through the quantum field like a stone dropped into still water. The observer effect begins not with your eyes, but with the gentle recognition that you are both the watcher and the watched. Feel your breath now, slow and steady. Each exhale releases the day's accumulated tension. Each inhale draws in the possibility of who you might become. Your body settles deeper into comfort, but your awareness remains crystal clear, suspended in this liminal space where magic lives. In this moment, you are not the person who struggled through today's challenges. You are not the collection of thoughts that have been cycling through your mind. You are pure awareness, witnessing the gentle dance of consciousness as it prepares to reorganize itself around a new truth. Your nervous system begins to recognize something it has always known but perhaps forgotten. You are not separate from the field of infinite possibility that surrounds you. The quantum field responds to the quality of your attention like a musical instrument responds to the touch of a skilled musician. Right now, as you rest in this awareness, you are conducting an invisible symphony. Every thought carries a frequency, every emotion broadcasts a signal, and the universe listens with infinite patience to the song you are singing with your very being. Notice how your body feels different when you consider this possibility. There is a softening, a settling, as if some deep part of you remembers this truth. Your cells seem to sigh with relief, recognizing that they have been carrying the weight of separation, the exhausting belief that you must push and force and struggle to create change in your life. But here, in this quiet space between day and night, you discover something revolutionary. Your awareness itself is the quantum shift you've been seeking. Not your desperate wanting, not your anxious planning, but this gentle witnessing presence that you are in this very moment. The observer effect that physicists describe in laboratories is happening right now in the laboratory of your consciousness. Your mind may have been telling you stories about who you are, about what's possible, about how change happens. These stories feel so real, so solid, like facts carved in stone. But tonight, you feel them for what they truly are, waves of possibility that have collapsed into temporary forms. And just as waves can reshape a shoreline over time, your awareness can reshape the landscape of your reality. Feel the weight of old certainties beginning to lift. The identity you wore today with its familiar patterns of reaction, its well-worn pathways of thoughts, starts to feel less solid, less permanent. You are not abandoning who you are. You are discovering who you have always been beneath the layers of conditioning and programming. Your breath becomes deeper now, carrying you further into this recognition. With each exhale, you release the need to be the same person who went to sleep last night. With each inhale, you draw in the possibility of awakening as someone who sees with new eyes, who responds from a different frequency, who embodies a reality that felt impossible just moments before. The quantum field is not some distant cosmic force. It is the very fabric of your awareness, the medium through which your consciousness moves and creates. Right now, as you rest in this understanding, you are not just observing the field, you are the field, dreaming itself into new forms of expression. Your nervous system begins to remember its original blueprint, the one that existed before trauma taught it to be hypervigilant, before disappointment taught it to expect the worst, before conditioning taught it to settle for less than what your soul knows is possible. In this remembering, your body becomes a tuning fork, vibrating at the frequency of your truest self. This is not about positive thinking or willpower. This is about the profound recognition that your consciousness is not contained within your skull. It is the space in which all experience arises. You are not a separate observer looking at a quantum field. You are the field itself, awakening to its own creative power. Feel how this recognition changes the quality of your presence. There is less effort now, less strain. Your attention becomes like sunlight, not forcing growth, but creating the conditions in which growth naturally occurs. The observer effect is not about controlling what you observe. It is about recognizing that your very presence transforms everything it touches. As you sink deeper into this awareness, you begin to understand that changing one thought truly can alter the quantum field. Not because thoughts are magic bullets that force reality to bend to your will, but because each thought is a choice about which frequency you embody, which version of yourself you bring into being through the simple act of conscious awareness. Your breath carries you deeper now, toward the edge of sleep where conscious and unconscious minds begin to merge. In this threshold space, you hold the gentle recognition that you are both the dreamer and the dream, the observer and the observed, the wave and the ocean in which all waves arise and dissolve. What becomes possible when you rest in this understanding, allowing it to reorganize your identity from the inside out? Your body remembers what your mind has forgotten. In the quiet spaces between your heartbeats, ancient whispers move through your bloodstream like rivers carrying stories from distant shores. These are not your stories, yet they live within you, threading through your nervous system like golden wire through fabric, weaving patterns that feel both familiar and strange. Tonight, as you breathe deeply into this moment, you feel the weight of inherited beliefs settling into your bones. Your grandmother's fear of not being enough, your father's learned silence in the face of disappointment, your mother's fierce protection that became anxious vigilance. Each emotion, each response, each way of being in the world passed down through generations like precious heirlooms, some beautiful, others worn with worry. Your nervous system carries these echoes, these cellular memories that pulse beneath your skin like a second heartbeat. They move through you as quantum entanglement connects every atom in your body to every ancestor who dreamed before you, their hopes and fears becoming the invisible architecture of your emotional landscape. But here, in this sacred space between sleeping and waking, you begin to feel something shifting. Your awareness expands, and you recognize that these inherited patterns are not permanent fixtures in your being. They are frequencies, vibrations that your cells have learned to dance to. But tonight you sense a different rhythm calling to you. Your breath becomes deeper, more intentional. With each exhale, you release what was never truly yours to carry. The stories that shaped your parents, the fears that defined your lineage, the limitations that felt like truth, they begin to loosen their grip on your nervous system. You feel your body softening, your cells remembering their original song. This is the observer effect in its most intimate form. Simply by witnessing these inherited patterns with compassionate awareness, you begin to change their frequency. Your conscious attention becomes a gentle hand on the quantum field of your being, inviting new possibilities to emerge from the space between what was and what could be. You feel your nervous system beginning to distinguish between what belongs to you and what belongs to the past. The anxious flutter in your chest that you thought was yours, perhaps it carries the echo of your great-grandmother's uncertainty in a new land. The way you hold your shoulders tight, maybe it mirrors your grandfather's burden of responsibility that he never learned to set down. As you breathe into this recognition, something beautiful happens. Your cells begin to remember their capacity for joy, their natural state of ease. The tension that felt permanent starts to dissolve like morning mist, revealing the spaciousness that was always there beneath the inherited weight. Your body is wise beyond measure. It knows how to release what no longer serves, how to honor the gifts of your lineage, while choosing new patterns that align with who you are becoming. Each breath you take sends ripples through the quantum field of your being, creating new neural pathways, new possibilities for how you exist in the world. You feel yourself settling deeper into rest, your nervous system calibrating to a frequency that is entirely your own. The stories that once felt like chains now transform into threads of connection, honoring your ancestors while claiming your freedom to write new chapters. Your cells hum with the recognition that you are both the culmination of all who came before and the beginning of something entirely new. In this space of gentle awareness, you begin to distinguish between the voice of inherited trauma and the whisper of your authentic self. The fear that once felt like protection reveals itself as a pattern you can choose to transform. The limitation that once felt like safety shows you doorways to expansion you never noticed before. Your breath continues its sacred rhythm, each inhale drawing in the quantum frequency of possibility, each exhale releasing the weight of stories that were never yours to carry. You feel your nervous system learning a new language, one of trust, of ease, of profound self-compassion, the cellular memory that once held your ancestors. Survival patterns now hold space for your thriving. You sense the quantum shift happening at the deepest level of your being, as your DNA remembers its infinite potential, as your cells align with the frequency of who you truly are beneath all the inherited layers. Your body becomes a bridge between worlds, honoring the strength and wisdom of your lineage while choosing to embody new possibilities. You feel the gentle power of conscious choice flowing through your veins, transforming ancient patterns into present moment freedom. As you drift deeper into this transformative rest, your nervous system continues its sacred work of integration. The stories that once defined you now become compass points, showing you exactly where you have the power to choose differently. Each breath carries you further into the quantum field of your authentic self, where inherited limitations dissolve into inherited wisdom. Tonight, you sleep knowing that you are both the keeper of your ancestors' dreams and the author of your own becoming. Which stories will you choose to carry forward, and which will you gently return to the earth with gratitude? You feel it now, don't you? That moment when life presents you with a choice, and your entire nervous system wants to leap into action. Your heart quickens, your breath shortens, and every cell in your body whispers the ancient language of fight or flight. But tonight, as you rest here in this gentle darkness, you're discovering something extraordinary, a space that exists between the lightning of impulse and the thunder of response. This is the sacred pause, and it's where your true power lives. Your breath rises and falls like ocean waves against the shore of your consciousness. Each inhale draws in possibility, each exhale releases the old patterns that no longer serve you. You begin to notice how your nervous system has been carrying stories written in the language of stress hormones and survival responses. Stories that taught you to react before you could truly see. But your body is wise beyond measure. It knows that every moment of tension, every surge of anxiety, every flash of anger is simply information wrapped in the costume of urgency. As you breathe deeper into this understanding, you feel your shoulders soften, your jaw unclench, entire being settling into a new rhythm of receptivity. The quantum field around you shimmers with infinite potential. In this sacred pause, you're not just choosing between reactions, you're choosing between entire timelines. The observer effect isn't just a principle of physics, it's the secret architecture of your own transformation. As you observe your impulses without immediately acting on them, you collapse the wave function of automatic response into the particle reality of conscious choice. Your nervous system begins to remember what safety feels like, not the brittle safety of control, but the fluid safety of trust. Trust in your own capacity to hold space for whatever arises. Trust in the wisdom of your body's signals. Trust in the sacred pause that exists between stimulus and response, between trigger and choice, between who you were and who you're becoming. You feel the old patterns stirring the familiar urge to contract, to defend, to react from the wound, instead of the wisdom. But now you recognize these patterns as teachers, not enemies. They're showing you exactly where your power has been hiding, disguised as powerlessness, waiting for you to claim it through the simple act of pausing. Your breath becomes a bridge. Each inhale connects you to the infinite field of possibility that surrounds you. Each exhale releases the accumulated tension of 1,000 forgotten moments when you forgot to pause. When you let the lightning of reaction strike before the thunder of wisdom could speak. The sacred pause isn't about stopping your life, it's about starting it. In this quantum moment of stillness, you're not being passive, you're being powerfully present. You're allowing your nervous system to recalibrate, to remember its natural state of regulated awareness, to find the frequency of response rather than reaction. You notice how resistance rises and falls like waves. Instead of fighting against these waves, you learn to surf them. Your body knows how to do this. It's been practicing with every breath, every heartbeat, every moment of sleep and wake. The resistance isn't your enemy. It's the universe's way of showing you exactly where your next level of freedom lives. As you rest deeper into this understanding, you feel your entire being reorganizing itself around this new possibility. Your neural pathways begin to carve new channels, like rivers finding their way to the sea. The patterns of reactivity that once felt carved in stone begin to soften, becoming more like water fluid, responsive, adaptive. The sacred pause becomes a portal. Through it, you access timelines, where you respond from wholeness rather than woundedness, where you meet life's challenges with the full spectrum of your wisdom rather than the narrow bandwidth of your fears. You feel these future versions of yourself reaching back through time, offering you their calm, their clarity, their unshakable knowing that you can handle whatever comes. Your nervous system drinks in this support, like earth receiving rain after a long drought. The chronic vigilance that has been your companion for so long begins to soften, recognizing that it's safe to let down its guard. You're not becoming weak. You're becoming wise. You're not becoming passive. You're becoming powerful in ways that the reactive mind could never imagine. In this sacred pause, you discover that uncertainty isn't the enemy of peace, it's the birthplace of possibility. When you stop demanding that life be predictable, you open to the wild creativity of existence itself. Your body relaxes into this knowing. Your breath deepens into this trust. Your heart opens to this dance with the unknown. The quantum field responds to your new frequency. Reality begins to reorganize itself around your willingness to pause, to breathe, to choose response over reaction. You're not just changing your behavior, you're changing the fundamental vibration from which your behavior emerges. As you settle deeper into rest, You carry this sacred pause with you into your dreams. Your subconscious mind receives this new template, this new possibility, this new way of being human. Tomorrow, when life invites you to react, you'll remember this moment. You'll remember the bridge of breath between impulse and choice. You'll remember that resistance isn't your enemy, it's your teacher, showing you exactly where your power has been waiting to be claimed. What becomes possible when you learn to dance with uncertainty instead of fighting it? Tonight, as you drift into sleep, you're already beginning to discover the answer. Like a radio slowly tuning to a clearer station, your energy begins to shift away from the static of old programming. Each exhale releases frequencies that no longer serve. Each inhale draws in new possibilities. You feel the quantum shift occurring at the cellular level as your identity reorganizes itself around this new vibrational truth in the gentle darkness that surrounds you now. Imagine your consciousness as a vast radio receiver capable of tuning in to infinite frequencies. For so long, you have been locked onto stations that broadcast the same familiar songs, the melodies of limitation, the refrains of old wounds, the background noise of inherited beliefs that never belonged to you in the first place. Your breath becomes the dial, slowly turning away from the static. With each exhale, you release the frequency of who you thought you had to be. With each inhale, you draw in the pure signal of who you truly are. The transition is gradual, like watching dawn slowly dissolve the shadows of night, replacing them with gentle light. Feel the old frequencies as they begin to dissolve. They may have felt so solid, so permanent, like the very foundation of your reality. But now you recognize them for what they truly are: wave patterns in the field of consciousness, sustained only by the habit of your attention. As you withdraw your focus from these familiar vibrations, they naturally begin to fade, like echoes dying in an empty room. Your nervous system, which has been running the same programs for so long, begins to recognize something extraordinary. The patterns it thought were protecting you, the hypervigilance, the defensive reactions, the automatic responses to perceived threats, start to feel foreign, like clothes that no longer fit. Your body begins to remember that safety is not something you create through constant vigilance, but something you embody through presence. In this moment of release, you might feel a gentle vertigo, as if the ground beneath your identity is shifting. This is natural. This is the wave function collapse occurring in real time within your consciousness. All the potential versions of yourself that have been existing in superposition, the confident you, the peaceful you, the radiant you, converging into a single, coherent frequency. Your cells seem to sigh with relief as they release the tension of holding on to patterns that were never truly yours. The frequency of your ancestors' unhealed trauma, the vibration of your culture's limiting beliefs, the static of your mind's protective strategies, all of this begins to dissolve like morning mist touched by sunlight. Notice how your body feels different as these old frequencies fade. There is more space now, more breath, more ease. Your shoulders drop away from your ears, your jaw softens, your belly releases the chronic tension of bracing against a world that felt unsafe. You are tuning into the frequency of your original nature, the one that exists before conditioning, before programming, before the radio of your consciousness learned to broadcast fear. This is not about becoming someone new. This is about remembering who you have always been beneath the layers of frequency that never belonged to you. Your true self is not a creation of your will. It is a recognition of what has always been present. waiting patiently for your attention to find its way home. The quantum field responds to this shift with infinite tenderness. As you release the old frequencies, space opens for new patterns to emerge. But these are not patterns you force into existence through effort or desire. They arise naturally, like flowers blooming in fertile soil, like stars becoming visible as the sky darkens. Your breath carries you deeper into this recognition. Each exhale is a letting go. Each inhale is a welcoming. You are not losing anything real. You are releasing illusions that have been exhausting you with their maintenance. The version of yourself that worried, that struggled, that felt separate from the flow of life, this was never truly you. It was simply a frequency you had learned to broadcast, a station you had forgotten how to change. Feel the gentleness of this transformation. Your identity is not shattering. It is reorganizing itself around a clearer signal. Like a kaleidoscope turning to reveal a new pattern, all the pieces of who you are remain, but they are arranging themselves in a configuration that feels more true, more aligned, more like coming home to yourself. Your nervous system begins to calibrate to this new frequency. The chronic activation that has been running in the background of your life, the subtle sense of threat, the need to be constantly ready for the next challenge starts to fade. In its place, a deeper intelligence emerges, one that knows how to respond rather than react, how to flow rather than fight. This is the collapse of the wave function in your personal reality. All the potential versions of yourself that have been existing in parallel are converging into this moment, this breath, this recognition. You are not choosing who to become. You are allowing who you truly are to emerge from the quantum foam of infinite possibility. The old frequencies may have served you once, protecting you in environments that required their particular brand of vigilance. But now, as you rest in this space of transformation, you feel your consciousness naturally gravitating toward frequencies that serve your highest expression. You are not forcing this shift. You are allowing it, trusting the intelligence of your own awareness to find its way to clarity. Your body becomes a living tuning fork, vibrating at the frequency of your essential self. Every cell adjusts its resonance to match this new configuration. Your heartbeat becomes a rhythm that supports this frequency. Your breath becomes a carrier wave that amplifies this signal throughout your entire being. As you sink deeper into this recognition, you begin to understand that the collapse of old frequencies is not a loss but a liberation. You are not becoming less, you are becoming more coherent, more aligned, more true to the signal that has always been broadcasting from the depths of your being, waiting for the static to clear so its message could finally be heard. The quantum field holds you in this transformation with infinite patience. There is no rush, no pressure, no deadline for this shift. You are simply allowing your consciousness to find its natural frequency. Like a river finding its way to the sea, like a plant growing toward the light, your breath carries you to the edge of sleep now, where conscious and unconscious minds begin to merge. In this liminal space, the transformation continues, your identity reorganizing itself around this clearer signal, even as your body rests. You are not just changing your thoughts, you are changing the very frequency at which your consciousness operates. How does it feel to let go of the version of yourself that was never really you, and to rest in the frequency of who you have always been? In the quiet depths of this moment, as your breath settles into its natural rhythm, you feel a subtle shift in the fabric of your awareness. The boundaries of who you think you are begin to soften, like ice melting at the edges, revealing something vast and luminous beneath. Here, In this sacred space between thoughts, you glimpse the infinite versions of yourself existing across parallel realities. There is a you who speaks with unwavering confidence, whose voice carries the weight of deep self-knowing. There is a you who moves through the world with playful curiosity, unencumbered by the fears that once seemed so permanent. There is a you who loves with an open heart, trusting in the goodness of life even after disappointment. Some confident, some wounded, some radiant with joy, all equally real, all equally you. Your nervous system begins to sense this multiplicity, this quantum field of possibility that exists within and around you. Each breath you take opens a doorway to these parallel selves, each one a complete expression of your consciousness exploring different landscapes of experience. You feel the gentle recognition that you are not limited to the version of yourself you've been living, but rather you are the infinite creative force that gives birth to all these expressions. Through quantum jumping, you begin to understand that healing isn't about fixing what's broken, but about choosing which frequency to embody. The wounded parts of you don't disappear, they transform into wisdom. The fearful aspects don't vanish, they become the foundation for your courage. You are not healing by becoming someone new. You are healing by remembering the wholeness that was always there, by choosing to align with the frequencies of yourself that feel most authentic, most alive. In this moment of deep rest, you feel your awareness expanding like ripples on a still pond. You sense the you who never learned to doubt your worth, who moves through life with quiet confidence and grace. This version of yourself isn't fantasides, a real frequency, a real possibility that exists in the quantum field of your being. You feel its presence like a gentle hand on your shoulder, whispering that this way of being is available to you right now. Your breath carries you deeper into this recognition. There is the you who processes emotions with ease, who feels deeply, without being overwhelmed, who knows how to set boundaries without walls. This version of yourself has learned to dance with difficulty rather than being crushed by it. You feel the neural pathways of this possibility lighting up in your brain, creating new connections, new ways of being that feel both foreign and familiar. Your body begins to remember what it feels like to embody confidence, to move through the world without the constant background hum of anxiety. Your cells shift their frequency, aligning with the version of yourself who trusts in your inherent worthiness. You feel your nervous system learning a new pattern, one where safety doesn't come from hiding but from fully showing up as who you truly are. As you breathe into this awareness, you sense the you who loves freely, who receives love without questioning if you deserve it. This version of yourself has learned that your heart is not fragile but fierce, not breakable but beautifully resilient. You feel the warmth of this recognition spreading through your chest, melting the protective barriers that once felt necessary. The quantum field responds to your attention, and you begin to feel the boundaries between these different versions of yourself dissolving. They are not separate beings but different expressions of the same infinite consciousness, your consciousness. You are the artist painting on the canvas of existence, and each parallel self is a different brushstroke, a different color, a different texture in the masterpiece of your being. Your nervous system relaxes into this understanding, releasing the tension that comes from believing you must be only one way, must fit into only one identity. You feel the relief of remembering that you are vast enough to contain multitudes, spacious enough to hold all the different aspects of yourself with compassion and curiosity. In this space of gentle awareness, you begin to choose consciously, not choosing against the parts of yourself that have struggled, but choosing to foreground the frequencies that feel most aligned with who you are becoming. You feel your attention like a gentle beam of light, illuminating the aspects of yourself that want to be lived more fully. There is the you who speaks truth with kindness, who stands in your power without diminishing others. There is the you who creates beauty from the raw materials of life, who finds meaning in the midst of uncertainty. There is the you who extends grace to yourself and others, who knows that imperfection is not a flaw but a doorway to deeper humanity. Your breath continues its sacred work, each inhale drawing you closer to these frequencies of yourself, each exhale releasing the patterns that no longer serve your highest expression. You feel your DNA responding to these new frequencies, your cells remembering their capacity for joy, for peace, for profound self-love. The mirror of infinite selves reflects back to you the truth that you have always been whole, always been enough, always been worthy of the love and life you desire. The versions of yourself that seem broken or wounded are not mistakes. They are the compost from which your wisdom grows, the dark soil from which your light emerges. You sense the quantum flow moving through you, connecting you to all the parallel expressions of your being. The you who is confident is teaching the you who doubts. The you who is healed is extending compassion to the you who is still healing. The you who is joyful is sharing its frequency with the you who is learning to feel again. Your nervous system begins to integrate these frequencies, creating new neural pathways that support your expansion into wholeness. You feel your body learning to hold multiple truths simultaneously, that you are both human and divine, both growing and complete, both individual and infinite. As you drift deeper into this transformative rest, you carry with you the knowing that you are not limited to any single version of yourself. You are the consciousness that dreams all versions into being, the awareness that chooses which frequencies to embody, the love that embraces all aspects of your being with infinite tenderness. The quantum field of your existence pulses with possibility, and you feel yourself settling into the frequency that feels most authentic, most alive, most true to who you are becoming. Your breath becomes a bridge between worlds, connecting you to the infinite versions of yourself that exist across all realities. Tonight, you rest in the knowing that you are both the dreamer and the dream, both the seeker and the sought, both the question and the answer. Which version of yourself is calling out to be lived, and how will you answer that call with the fullness of your being? You rest here in this gentle darkness, and already something extraordinary is happening. Your attention, that most precious gift you possess, begins to settle like golden dust finding its natural home. You're discovering that attention isn't just something you have, it's something you are. It's the very essence of your creative power, the quantum frequency through which you participate in the endless dance of realities, becoming, feel. How your awareness moves through this moment like light through water. Each thought that drifts across your consciousness carries within it the DNA of creation itself, not the forceful creation of pushing and striving, but the gentle creation of witnessing, of being present to what is, of allowing your attention to become a loving container for whatever arises. Your mind begins to recognize its own power, not the power to control or manipulate, but the power to observe, to witness, to hold space for reality to unfold. In the quantum field that surrounds you, every particle of possibility waits for the kiss of consciousness, for the moment when awareness touches potential and transforms it into experience. You breathe into this knowing, and your entire nervous system relaxes into a new understanding. The quality of your attention becomes more important than the quantity of your effort. You're not trying to force outcomes. You're learning to create through the simple act of being present, of bringing the full spectrum of your awareness to this moment. The quantum field responds to your presence like a flower opening to sunlight. It doesn't respond to your desperation, your anxiety, your frantic pushing against what is. It responds to the quality of consciousness you bring, the softness of your awareness, the spaciousness of your attention, the loving presence that you're cultivating right now as you rest. You notice how your thoughts have been like seeds scattered in the wind. Some took root in the fertile soil of your attention, growing into experiences, relationships, patterns of being. Others passed through without taking hold, returning to the field of infinite possibility. Tonight, you're learning to become a conscious gardener of your own awareness. Your attention becomes a living frequency, a vibration that calls certain potentials forward, while allowing others to remain in their quantum state of pure possibility. You're not forcing reality to conform to your will. You're inviting it to dance with the essence of who you truly are. As you settle deeper into rest, you feel the observer effect coming alive within you. Your consciousness doesn't just witness reality, it participates in its creation. Every moment of awareness is a moment of quantum measurement, collapsing infinite possibilities into the singular beauty of what is actually happening right now. You breathe in this understanding, and your heart opens to the profound responsibility and the incredible gift of conscious attention. You're not separate from the universe looking in. You're the universe looking at itself through the unique lens of your awareness. Your nervous system begins to recalibrate around this new frequency. The chronic tension of trying to control outcomes melts away, replaced by the fluid alertness of conscious participation. You're learning to surf the waves of reality rather than fighting against them, to dance with uncertainty rather than demanding certainty. The thoughts that have been circling through your mind, like restless birds, begin to settle, not because you've pushed them away, but because you've offered them the gift of your witnessing presence. In the warm light of your attention, even difficult thoughts transform, revealing their hidden gifts, their secret teachings, their invitations to deeper understanding. You discover that attention is the ultimate act of love. When you truly attend to something, a breath, a sensation, a moment of beauty, offering it the most precious gift you possess, you're saying yes to its existence, yes to its right to be exactly as it is, yes to the mystery of its being. The quantum field shimmers around you, responding to this frequency of loving attention. Reality begins to organize itself around your willingness to witness, to be present, to hold space for whatever wants to emerge. You're not creating through force, you're creating through presence. Your breath becomes a teacher, showing you how to attend without attachment, how to witness without judgment, how to be present without agenda. Each inhale draws in the infinite possibilities that surround you. Each exhale releases the need to control how those possibilities manifest. You feel your entire being reorganizing itself around this new way of creating. Your cells respond to the frequency of conscious attention. Your nervous system learns to trust the process of witnessing rather than the process of controlling. Your heart opens to the mystery of participating in reality's endless becoming. Quality of your attention becomes a quantum frequency that ripples out into the field of infinite possibility. Like a tuning fork struck in a room full of instruments, your consciousness calls forth harmonious frequencies, aligning reality with the essence of your being. You notice how different this feels from the old way of trying to manifest. There's No strain, no desperate grasping, no fear of not getting what you want. Instead, there's a profound trust in the intelligence of the universe, and knowing that your authentic attention is already calling forth exactly what serves your highest good. As you rest deeper into this awareness, you feel future versions of yourself reaching back through time, offering you their wisdom, their peace, their unshakable trust in the process of conscious creation. They've learned what you're learning now, that attention is alchemy, that consciousness is creative, that presence is the most powerful force in the universe. Your dreams tonight will be laboratories of consciousness, spaces where your attention can play with possibility without the constraints of linear time or logical sequence. Your subconscious mind will practice this new way of being, this new quality of attention, this new frequency of creation. The quantum field holds you in its infinite embrace, responding to every nuance of your awareness, every shift in your attention, every moment of your presence. You're not just observing reality, you're participating in its creation through the simple act of being consciously present. Tomorrow, when you wake, you'll carry this frequency with you. You'll remember that your attention is not just something you have, it's something you are. You'll remember that every moment of consciousness is a moment of creation. Every breath of awareness is a gift to the universe. What reality are you creating through the gift of your awareness? As you drift into sleep, you're already beginning to discover the answer through the alchemy of your own attention. Your nervous system begins to remember its original song, the melody it knew before trauma taught it to sing in minor keys. Through gentle quantum events in your cells, old patterns dissolve like morning mist. You feel your body learning to trust again, to open, to receive the frequency of peace as your natural state. In the soft darkness that cradles you now, imagine your nervous system as a vast musical instrument, capable of playing symphonies of sensation and experience. For so long, it has been playing the same haunting melodies, the urgent staccato of hypervigilance, the deep bass notes of chronic tension, the discordant harmonies of a system that learned to expect danger around every corner. Your breath becomes the conductor's baton, slowly guiding this internal orchestra toward a gentler composition. With each exhale, you release the sharp, jarring notes that have been playing in the background of your awareness. With each inhale, you invite in the softer tones that have been waiting patiently for permission to emerge. Feel the transformation, beginning in your vagus nerve, that wandering pathway that connects your brain to your heart to your gut, weaving through your body like a river of intelligence. This ancient pathway has been carrying messages of alarm for so long, broadcasting signals of threat even when you are perfectly safe. But now, as you rest in this aware presence, it begins to remember its original purpose, to sing the song of connection, of safety, of peaceful engagement with life. Your body has been holding the memory of every moment it felt unsafe, every experience that taught it to brace against an unpredictable world. These memories live not in your mind but in your tissues, in the very fibers of your being. They have been running like background programs, shaping your posture, your breathing, your capacity to receive love and joy. But in this moment of deep rest, something extraordinary begins to happen. The quantum field that permeates every cell of your body starts to reorganize these patterns, like a gentle wave washing over a sandcastle. The rigid structures built from old fear begin to soften and reshape themselves. Your cells remember that they were designed for ease, for flow, for the natural rhythm of expansion and contraction that is life itself. Notice how your shoulders begin to drop away from your ears, as if they are finally receiving permission to stop holding up a sky that was never falling. Your jaw softens, releasing the chronic tension of words you felt you could never say, truths you felt you could never speak. Your belly expands with each breath, no longer braced against blows that are not coming. Your nervous system has been like a smoke detector that became too sensitive, sounding alarms at the slightest provocation. The scent of uncertainty, the shadow of change, the whisper of vulnerability, all of these have been triggering responses designed for life or death situations. But now, in this sanctuary of awareness, your internal alarm system begins to recalibrate. Itself, the quantum events occurring in your cells are invisible to the eye, but profound in their impact. Each molecule of stress hormone that has been circulating through your system begins to metabolize and clear. Each neural pathway that has been firing in patterns of protection starts to remember pathways of connection. Your body is not just relaxing, it is rewiring itself at the most fundamental level. Feel the warmth beginning to spread through your chest as your heart remembers its natural rhythm, not the quick, shallow beats of anxiety, but the deep, steady pulse of a system that trusts the flow of life. Your heart has been working so hard to pump blood through a body that was chronically braced for impact. Now it can relax into its natural efficiency, circulating not just blood but the frequency of peace throughout your entire being. Your breath becomes deeper, fuller, as your diaphragm releases the chronic tension of shallow, fearful breathing. Each inhale draws in not just oxygen but the recognition that you are safe to be fully present in your body. Each exhale releases not just carbon dioxide but the accumulated stress of years of holding your breath against life's uncertainties. This is the nervous system's new song emerging, not the frantic percussion of fight or flight, but the gentle lullaby of a system that has remembered its capacity for rest and restoration. Your parasympathetic nervous system, that wise branch of your autonomic intelligence, begins to bloom like a flower that has been waiting for the right conditions to open. The quantum frequency of safety begins to broadcast from every cell of your body. This is not safety as the absence of challenge, but safety as the deep knowing that you have the resources to meet whatever arises. Your nervous system remembers that it was designed not just to survive, but to thrive, not just to endure, but to flourish. Your body begins to remember what it felt like before it learned to be afraid. The soft curiosity of a child's nervous system, the open receptivity of a system that expects good things to happen. This is not naivety. This is the return to your original blueprint, the one that existed before conditioning taught you to expect. The worst feel how this shift ripples through your entire being. Your muscles release patterns of chronic holding. Your organs settle into their natural rhythm of function. Your skin becomes softer, more permeable, willing to receive the touch of life rather than bracing against it. You are not just relaxing, you are returning to your natural state of dynamic ease. The old patterns of protection do not disappear all at once. They fade gradually, like echoes in a cathedral, growing fainter with each repetition until they dissolve into silence. In their place, new patterns begin to emerge, patterns of trust, of openness, of the kind of deep safety that comes not from controlling your environment, but from knowing your own resilience. Your nervous system begins to sing a new song, one that harmonizes with the frequency of peace that has always been your birthright. This is not a song you learn through effort or practice. It is a song you remember, like a melody that has been playing in the background of your consciousness, waiting for the noise to quiet so it could be heard as you rest in this transformation. You begin to understand that healing your nervous system is not about fixing what is broken. It is about remembering what was never broken, about returning to the song that has always been playing in the depths of your being, waiting for the right moment to rise to the surface. Your body becomes a living instrument of peace, each cell vibrating at the frequency of trust, each breath a note in the symphony of your return to wholeness. You are not becoming peaceful. You are recognizing the peace that has always been the foundation of your being, the ground from which all your experiences arise. The quantum field holds you in this recognition, supporting your nervous system as it learns to sing its new song. There is no rush, no pressure, no timeline for this transformation. You are simply allowing your body to remember its original nature, like a river finding its way back to the sea. How does your body feel when it remembers it was always meant to be safe? When every cell relaxes into the frequency of trust that is your natural inheritance? Like water finding its natural course down a mountainside, you begin to sense a different way of being in the world. The old patterns of forcing and pushing, of trying to make things happen through sheer will, start to dissolve in the gentle current of this moment. Your breath becomes a river, carrying you toward a new understanding of how change actually occurs, not through struggle, but through surrender to the quantum flow of your own becoming. You feel your nervous system beginning to relax its grip on control, that familiar tension in your shoulders and jaw softening as you remember what it means to trust the intelligence of life itself. Each cell in your body begins to attune to this new frequency, like instruments in an orchestra gradually finding their harmony. You are no longer swimming against the current of your own evolution. You are learning to move with it, to dance with it, to become one with the very forces that are shaping you. In this space of gentle awareness, you feel the coherent field of possibility beginning to form around you. It's not something you create through effort, but something that emerges naturally when you stop interfering with your own growth. Your heart rate begins to synchronize with this deeper rhythm. Your breathing becomes more spacious, and your entire being starts to pulse with the frequency of aligned intention. You sense the quantum currents moving through you now, invisible rivers of potential that flow between what was and what is becoming. These currents don't ask for your permission or your understanding. They simply invite you to trust, to release your need to direct every outcome, and to allow yourself to be carried toward the expression of yourself that wants to emerge. Your body remembers what your mind has forgotten, that you are not separate from the creative force of the universe, but an expression of it. Each breath you take draws you deeper into this recognition. Each heartbeat a gentle reminder that you are not trying to become something foreign to your nature, but rather allowing what is already within you to unfold like a flower opening to the sun, the old story of manifestation, of demanding from the universe, of visualizing and affirming your way to change begins to feel foreign now. Instead, you feel yourself entering the quantum flow of becoming, where desires arise not from lack but from the natural expansion of your consciousness. You are no longer trying to manifest, you are becoming the very thing you once only dreamed of. Your nervous system starts to recognize this new pattern, this way of being that feels both effortless and profound. The chronic tension that came from believing you had to push your way through life begins to dissolve, replaced by a flowing strength that moves like water, gentle yet persistent, soft yet unstoppable. You feel your cells reorganizing themselves around this new frequency, creating coherence where there was once resistance. In this state of flow, you begin to understand that everything you've been seeking has been seeking you as well. The love you long for, the peace you desire, the confidence you want to embody, these are not distant goals, but frequencies that are already present within the quantum field of your being. You feel yourself beginning to align with them, not through force, but through a gentle allowing that feels like coming home to yourself. Your breath becomes deeper, more natural, as if your lungs are remembering their original purpose, not just to sustain life, but to connect you to the larger rhythm of existence. Each inhale draws in the frequency of possibility. Each exhale releases the patterns of resistance that have kept you feeling separate from your own power. You sense the biofield around you beginning to shift, becoming more coherent, more aligned with the truth of who you are becoming. This field extends beyond your physical body, creating a space where synchronicities can occur, where the right people and opportunities are naturally drawn to you, where life begins to support your highest expression without you having to force it. The quantum flow carries you now toward a new understanding of your own creative power. You are not the one who makes things happen. You are the one who allows them to happen through you. You are not the author of your story, you are the story itself, unfolding in real time, discovering itself through the beautiful process of becoming. Your nervous system continues to calibrate to this new frequency, releasing the old patterns of anxiety and control that once felt so necessary. You feel your body learning to trust the process of change, to find safety not in knowing what will happen next, but in knowing that you are held by the same intelligence that moves the planets and grows the trees. Each cell in your body begins to hum with this new understanding, creating a coherent field of possibility that extends in all directions. You are no longer a separate being trying to influence the world from the outside. You are an integral part of the quantum fabric of existence, and your transformation naturally transforms everything around you. In this space of flow, you feel the boundaries between effort and ease dissolving. What once required struggle now happens through alignment. What once felt impossible now feels inevitable. You are not changing yourself, you are allowing yourself to be changed by the same force that turns acorns into oak, trees and caterpillars into butterflies. Your breath continues its sacred work, each cycle drawing you deeper into this quantum flow of becoming. You feel the old stories of limitation beginning to dissolve like salt and water, leaving only the pure essence of your potential. The person you are becoming is not someone you have to create, it's someone you have to allow. The coherent field around you pulses with possibility now, and you feel yourself settling into this new way of being. You are no longer pushing against the current of your own evolution. You are flowing with it, trusting it, allowing it to carry you toward the expression of yourself that has been waiting patiently for this moment of surrender. Your nervous system finds its natural rhythm in this flow, no longer braced against uncertainty, but dancing with it. You feel the profound relief of no longer having to be in control, of no longer having to figure everything out, of no longer having to force your way through life. Instead, you are learning to move like water finding the path of least resistance, while still reaching your destination. As you drift deeper into this transformative rest, you carry with you the knowing that you are already flowing toward your highest expression. The quantum currents of change are carrying you exactly where you need to go, at exactly the right pace, in exactly the right way. You are no longer swimming upstream, you are flowing home to yourself. Tonight, you rest in the quantum flow of your own becoming, trusting that what wants to emerge through you will find its way to the surface. What opens within you when you stop pushing and start flowing? You rest here in this sacred space between sleep and waking, where the boundaries between conscious and unconscious begin to dissolve like morning mist. In this liminal realm, you're invited to meet yourself with a completeness you've never dared to imagine. Tonight, you're discovering that wholeness isn't about becoming perfect, it's about embracing every frequency of your being with equal tenderness. Your breath flows like a gentle river, carrying you deeper into this exploration of self-acceptance. You feel the parts of yourself you've kept hidden beginning to stir, not with menace, but with the quiet dignity of aspects that have been waiting patiently for your love. These shadow aspects, once sources of shame, begin to reveal themselves. As guardians of your deepest gifts, the quantum field around you responds to this new frequency of self-compassion. As you breathe into acceptance rather than rejection, you feel reality itself shifting to accommodate your wholeness. The observer effect isn't just about witnessing the external world. It's about witnessing every part of yourself with loving awareness. You notice how your nervous system has been carrying the weight of self-judgment, the exhausting effort of trying to be only light, only positive, only acceptable. But your body knows the truth that your mind has forgotten. You are not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be lived. You are not broken pieces to be fixed, but a whole being learning to love all of yourself. Your shadow aspects begin to emerge from hiding, not as monsters, but as misunderstood children, as exiled parts of your psyche that have been holding gifts you didn't know you needed. That anger you've been suppressing, it carries within it the seed of your healthy boundaries. That sadness you've been avoiding, it holds the depth of your compassion. That fear you've been running from, it protects the vulnerability that makes intimacy possible. You breathe into this understanding, and your entire being begins to relax into a new kind of wholeness. The chronic tension of trying to be perfect dissolves, replaced by the fluid strength of authentic self-acceptance. You're not becoming less than you were. You're becoming more than you ever imagined possible. The quantum field shimmers with recognition. As you embrace these hidden aspects of yourself, in the realm of quantum manifestation, coherence isn't about eliminating discord. It's about creating harmony that includes all notes, even the ones that seemed discordant when played in isolation. Your shadow aspects begin to harmonize with your light, creating a symphony of selfhood that is both complex and beautiful. You feel your heart opening to parts of yourself you thought were unlovable, that perfectionist voice that has driven you to exhaustion. It also carries your commitment to excellence, that people-pleasing tendency that has cost you your boundaries. It also holds your genuine desire to contribute to others' well-being, that inner critic that has caused you so much pain. It also carries your discernment, your ability to see clearly. Your nervous system begins to recalibrate around this new frequency of self-acceptance. The fight-or-flight response that has been activated by your own internal conflicts begins to settle. You're no longer at war with yourself. You're learning to be a loving parent to all aspects of your being. As you rest deeper into this integration, you discover that your shadow aspects have been serving you all along. They've been protecting you, alerting you, holding space for parts of your humanity that the world told you were unacceptable. They've been the guardians of your authenticity, the keepers of your truth, the protectors of your soul's integrity. You breathe in this recognition, and something profound shifts within you. The quantum field responds to your new coherence, your willingness to include rather than exclude, your courage to love the fullness of who you are. Reality begins to mirror back this self-acceptance, creating space for you to show up as your whole self rather than the carefully curated version you thought the world wanted. Your dreams tonight will be laboratories of integration, spaces where your conscious and unconscious minds can dance together in perfect harmony. Your shadow aspects will continue their work of protection and guidance, but now they'll do so from a place of acceptance rather than exile. You feel the wisdom of your wounds, the gifts hidden in your struggles, the light that has been birthed. From your darkness, you're not healing by eliminating parts of yourself. You're healing by learning to love all of yourself. You're not becoming enlightened by transcending your humanity. You're becoming whole by embracing it. The quantum field holds you in its infinite embrace as you practice this radical self-acceptance. Every breath becomes an act of love. Every moment of awareness becomes an opportunity to include rather than exclude, to embrace rather than reject, to integrate rather than fragment. You notice how different this feels from the old way of spiritual seeking. There's no more trying to be only light, only positive, only acceptable. Instead, there's a profound trust in the intelligence of your wholeness, a knowing that every part of you has value. Every aspect of your being carries wisdom. Your nervous system drinks in this acceptance, like parched earth receiving rain. The chronic vigilance against your own humanity begins to soften. You're not becoming weak. You're becoming integrated. You're not becoming unconscious. You're becoming conscious of your full spectrum of being. As you settle deeper into rest, you carry this integration with you into your dreams. Your subconscious mind receives this new template of wholeness, this new possibility of self-love, this new frequency of acceptance. Tomorrow, when you wake, you'll remember that you are not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be lived. The quantum field responds to your coherence, your willingness to love all frequencies of your being. Reality begins to reorganize itself around your wholeness, your authenticity, your courage to be fully human. You're not just changing your relationship with yourself, you're changing the fundamental vibration from which your entire life emerges. Your shadow aspects settle into their rightful place as honored members of your inner council. They're no longer enemies to be defeated, but allies to be embraced. They're no longer sources of shame, but carriers of your deepest gifts. They're no longer problems to be solved, but aspects of your humanity to be loved. How does it feel to love the parts of yourself you thought were unlovable? Tonight, as you drift into sleep, you're already beginning to discover the profound freedom that comes from embracing your wholeness. Chapter 10. The embodiment of new truth. Your body holds the memory of who you're becoming before your mind even knows it's possible. In this moment of deep rest, you feel the profound shift happening not in your thoughts but in your very cells, each one reorganizing itself around the frequency of this new reality. This is not a change you're making, this is a change you're being. A transformation that moves through you like a gentle tide, reshaping your inner landscape with each breath. You feel your nervous system beginning to recognize this new pattern, this way of being that feels both foreign and familiar, like remembering a language you spoke in dreams. The old pathways of fear and limitation start to quiet, not because you're fighting them, but because they're being gently replaced by something more true, more aligned with the essence of who you actually are. Your breath becomes the bridge between who you were and who you're becoming. Each inhale draws in the frequency of this new reality. Each exhale releases the cellular memory of old stories that no longer serve your highest expression. You feel the quantum shift happening in your bones, in your blood, in the very DNA that codes for your existence. This is embodied transformation, not just understanding a new way of being, but becoming it at the deepest level. Your body becomes a living testament to this new reality, holding the vibration of confidence even when your mind still sometimes doubts, maintaining the frequency of peace even when the world around you feels chaotic. You are no longer trying to remember who you truly are, allowing yourself to be remembered by the truth of your being. In this space of gentle awareness, you feel your muscles beginning to hold themselves differently. The chronic tension that came from carrying old stories starts to dissolve, replaced by a flowing strength that moves through you like water finding its natural course. Your shoulders release their protective stance, your jaw softens its grip on unspoken words, your heart space expands to hold more love, more possibility, more of the full spectrum of your humanity. Your cells begin to hum with this new frequency, creating coherence where there was once resistance. You feel the intelligence of your body remembering what it means to be home in yourself, to move through the world not as someone trying to become worthy, but as someone who knows their worth is inherent, unchangeable, absolute. The transformation moves through you now like a gentle tide, and you feel yourself surrendering to its rhythm. Your nervous system learns to recognize safety not in the familiar patterns of the past, but in the alive presence of this moment. You feel your body beginning to trust this new way of being, to find stability not in rigidity but in flowing responsiveness to what life is asking of you. Each breath you take sends ripples through the quantum field of your being, creating new neural pathways that support this embodied truth. You feel your brain beginning to wire itself around this new reality, forming connections that make confidence feel natural, that make peace feel normal, that make love feel like the most obvious way to exist in the world. Your body remembers what your mind has forgotten, that you are not separate from the creative force of the universe, but an expression of it. Each heartbeat is a declaration of this truth, each breath a confirmation of your belonging, each movement a celebration of your inherent aliveness. You feel yourself settling into this embodied knowing, not as a concept but as a lived experience. The old patterns of self-doubt and limitation begin to feel foreign now, like clothes that no longer fit. Your body simply can't hold the frequency of unworthiness when every cell is vibrating with the truth of your inherent value. You feel the profound shift happening at the cellular level, your DNA remembering its original blueprint of wholeness, of joy, of effortless being. In this state of embodied transformation, you begin to understand that living from this new frequency is not about perfection, it's about presence. It's not about never feeling doubt or fear, but about knowing that these emotions are visitors in the house of your being, not the foundation upon which you're built. Your body becomes a sanctuary for all aspects of your experience, holding them with the same compassion that a mother holds her child. You feel your nervous system learning to default to this new setting, this frequency of embodied truth. The chronic anxiety that once felt like a constant companion begins to dissolve, replaced by a flowing alertness that responds to life without being overwhelmed by it. Your body learns to rest in its own power, to find strength not in bracing against the world, but in flowing with it. Your breath continues its sacred work, each cycle deepening your embodiment of this new reality. You feel the boundaries between who you were and who you're becoming dissolving like mist in the morning sun. There is no line to cross, no moment of arrival. There is only this continuous becoming, this gentle evolution that happens through presence rather than effort. Each cell in your body begins to pulse with this new understanding, creating a coherent field of possibility that extends beyond your physical form. You are no longer someone who visits the frequency of your highest self, are someone who lives there, who makes it your home. who brings it into every interaction and every moment of your existence. Your body becomes the temple of this new truth, holding it not as a fragile thing that might break, but as a robust reality that can weather any storm. You feel your muscles remembering how to hold themselves with dignity, your posture naturally aligning with the truth of your worth, your movement becoming an expression of the grace that flows through you. The quantum shift you feel is not something you're doing, it's something you're being. You are not trying to embody this new frequency. You are allowing yourself to be embodied by it. You feel the profound difference between effort and allowance, between trying to change and allowing change to happen through you. Your nervous system continues to calibrate to this new reality, releasing the old patterns of vigilance and control that once felt so necessary. You feel your body learning to trust the process of becoming, to find safety not in knowing what will happen next, but in knowing that you are held by the same intelligence that orchestrates the dance of the galaxies. In this space of embodied transformation, you feel yourself becoming a living bridge between worlds, between the old paradigm of struggle and the new paradigm of flow, between the frequency of fear and the frequency of love, between who you were and who you're becoming. Your body holds this bridge steady, allowing others to cross through your very presence. As you drift deeper into this transformative rest, you carry with you the knowing that this new truth is not something you have to remember, it's something you have to allow. Your body remembers what your mind has forgotten, that you are already whole, already worthy, already home in the truth of your being. Your breath becomes a continuous prayer of embodiment, each inhale drawing in the frequency of who you truly are, each exhale releasing anything that stands in the way of this full expression. You feel yourself settling into this new way of being, not as a destination, but as a continuous journey of becoming more truly yourself. Tonight, you rest in the embodied truth of your transformation, trusting that every cell in your body is reorganizing itself around this new frequency. You are no longer visiting your highest self. You are becoming your highest self, living from this frequency as your natural state of being. What does it mean to live from this new frequency instead of just visiting it? And how does your body hold the memory of this truth, even when your mind forgets? Chapter 11. The ripple effect of transformation. You rest here in this profound stillness, and already the universe is responding to your presence. Like a pebble dropped into the perfect mirror of a lake, your internal shifts are creating ripples that extend far beyond what your eyes can see. You're discovering that transformation isn't a solitary journey. It's a gift you offer to the collective consciousness of all humanity. Your breath flows like a gentle tide, carrying your new frequency out into the quantum field that connects every living being. You feel yourself not as separate from the world, but as an integral part of the great web of consciousness that holds all life. Your healing becomes a healing for the whole. Your peace becomes a contribution to the world's awakening. The field around you shimmers with recognition as you embrace this deeper understanding. You're not just working on yourself, you're working for the elevation of all consciousness. Every moment of self-acceptance, every breath of inner peace, every step toward wholeness sends out waves of possibility that touch lives you may never know. You feel your nervous system settling into this expanded awareness. The old belief that you're isolated, that your struggles don't matter, that your healing is somehow selfish, of this dissolves like morning mist. You're beginning to understand that personal transformation and planetary healing are not separate movements. They are one movement of consciousness expressing itself through countless individual awakenings. Your cellular memory begins to remember what indigenous wisdom keepers have always known. We are all connected. The quantum field doesn't recognize the artificial boundaries between self and other, between your healing and the world's healing. When you raise your frequency, you raise the frequency of the whole. When you choose love over fear, you make it easier for others to make the same choice. You breathe into this profound responsibility and gift. Your thoughts, your emotions, your very presence are contributing to the morphic field of human consciousness. The patterns you're healing within yourself are making those same patterns easier to heal for others. The love you're cultivating in your heart is strengthening the love available to all beings. The quantum field responds to your new understanding with waves of support and recognition. You feel the presence of countless others who are also awakening, also healing, also contributing to this great transformation. You're not alone in this journey. You're part of a vast network of conscious beings, all working toward the same goal of greater love, greater peace, greater wholeness. Your dreams tonight will be woven into the collective dream of humanity. Your subconscious mind will connect with the greater mind of our species, sharing the healing you've received and receiving the healing that others are offering. This is how consciousness evolves, not through individual effort alone, but through the collective sharing of wisdom, love, and awakening. You feel the ancestors celebrating your courage to heal, knowing that your transformation releases not only your own pain but the unhealed patterns you've inherited from generations before. You feel the future generations thanking you for the healing you're doing now, knowing that your work makes their path easier, their awakening more natural. The ripples of your transformation extend through time as well as space. Your healing touches the past, releasing ancestral trauma and blessing the struggles of those who came before. Your peace reaches into the future, creating a more harmonious world for those who will come after. You exist at the center of this great web of time and space, contributing to the healing of all dimensions. Your nervous system relaxes into this knowing. The chronic anxiety about whether you're doing enough, whether you matter, whether your efforts make a difference, all of this settles into a deep trust in the interconnectedness of all things. You matter more than you know. Your healing contributes more than you can imagine. Your very existence is a gift to the world. You notice how different this feels from the old paradigm of isolated struggle. There's no more trying to heal yourself in a vacuum, no more feeling guilty for focusing on your own growth. Instead, there's a profound understanding that your personal transformation is your greatest gift to the world, your most powerful contribution. To the collective awakening, the quantum field holds you in its infinite embrace as you practice this expanded awareness. Every breath becomes an offering to the whole. Every moment of peace becomes a contribution to global harmony. Every step toward wholeness becomes a step toward the healing of our planet and all its beings. You feel the pulse of the earth beneath you, the rhythm of the collective human heart, the breath of the cosmic consciousness that breathes through all life. You're not separate from any of this. You're an integral part of it all. Your healing vibrates through the entire network of consciousness, creating space for others to heal more easily. Your cells remember their cosmic origins, their connection to the stars and the earth, their participation in the great dance of life. You're not just healing yourself, you're healing the very fabric of existence. You're not just finding peace, you're contributing to the peace of the world. As you settle deeper into rest, you carry this expanded awareness with you into your dreams. Your subconscious mind continues to send out ripples of healing, to receive the healing that others are offering. to participate in the great work of collective transformation. Tomorrow, when you wake, you'll remember that you are not separate from the world. You are the world healing itself. The quantum field responds to your coherence, your willingness to heal not just for yourself, but for all beings. Reality begins to reorganize itself around your expanded awareness, your commitment to the collective good, your understanding that we are all one consciousness experiencing itself through countless individual perspectives. Your transformation sends ripples through the morphic field of human consciousness, making it easier for others to heal the same patterns, to find the same peace, to discover the same truth. You're not just changing your own life, you're changing the very fabric of human possibility. How does your healing contribute to the healing of the whole? Tonight, as you drift into sleep, you're already beginning to discover the profound joy that comes from knowing your transformation is a gift to all life.